No such thing as bad press.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Ask Jeffrey
I think
Epstein.
there is.
No.
No. Like I think there's a level of press that once you get to like, okay, this is too bad press.
What about D press?
Chest press.
Deep press can be bad.
Bench press.
Oh yeah.
Overhead press.
Bench part.
That press is bad. No, thank you.
Hello and welcome to The Orig, a show by Damage Control Podcasting, a professionally unprofessional look at my film.
Are you
filming?
No, we're not filming.
We've been talking about getting cameras forever.
The camera's still in the bathroom.
In my head, I didn't know if I hit record. A professionally unprofessional look at the conventions, ideas, and genres of filmmaking.
In my head, I didn't know if I hit record.
I'm here with...
I don't know who I am at this point.
I'm Cody Dietrich.
Tyler.
Daniel.
Okay.
I like how Cody always gives his full name.
Do I need to stop doing that?
Next episode, give your social security number, and we'll see which fan can put all the clues together.
That's
All right. Okay. 777-53-8963.
Slower.
Plus, you should.
What about your mother's maiden name?
Plus, you shouldn't say
Grabowski.
PIN number because it's actually.
Yes, I know. You also shouldn't say ATM machine.
Yeah. Okay. You also shouldn't say the Sahara Desert because Sahara actually means the. So what you're saying is the desert. What you're saying is the desert.
Just like chai tea. Chai tea is just TT. TT.
I was gonna say that I've been hunting a long time for some TT. Whole lot of high school dedicated to seeing some TT.
This was a fun podcast, guys. I'm real sorry that it had to end on this episode, but
okay, this episode.
So could this be the origin of the new podcast we're gonna do?
About TT?
Heck yes, I don't know.
No, I
you
thought
really had a lot of in-depth information.
I thought we were talking about softcore porn.
I mean, there's a hell of a lot of TT in softcore porn.
Yeah, you're not allowed to show a dick because then you get XXX.
Yeah. Although I did watch one, it was like I thought it was a legit sci-fi film. Turned out it was sci-fi softcore, and it was like Girls from the Moon or something like that was the name of it. Not bad. I had to go find the unedited version because goddamn it,
that was actually live footage from Artemis 2 you were watching.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
It was live footage from a moon, from a NASA trip that just happened.
Yep.
So it traveled back through time.
Yep. It was traveling so fast it went back in time.
Yeah, they did of course they went around the moon just like Star Trek did in the sun.
Yeah.
They just didn't go back as far because the moon has lesser gravity. It's fucking science, Tyler.
Yeah. I'm surprised that there was not some Bayverse fan, which I'm sure there's some somewhere hiding under a rock, that sent a picture of like, here's what Artemis 2 found on the moon, and it was the crashed ship.
That would have been pretty funny.
Someone posted something where it's like actual footage the government doesn't want you to see of what's on the other side of the moon, and they took the evil moon face from Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask and they posted it. It was the fucking creepiest thing I've ever seen.
That's pretty legit.
This happened years ago, but when
they just came back the other day.
No, not that.
Unless they did the time travel thing.
Oh yeah.
Steven Spielberg posted a picture of him on set of Jurassic Park, and it's him dying Triceratops, and people were outraged that he was a big game hunter and he shouldn't be killing and people in the comments were like, look at the fucking picture, you moron.
Yeah. Okay, that's super funny.
This episode's topics, which Tyler says it was you that came up with it.
I think it was Cody that came up with it.
I don't know. Anyway,
I think
this episode's topic: flicks and TV that should work but don't.
You see, I thought Adam came up with this one.
I don't know. I don't think so. Because I wasn't really sure.
I think it was a fan write-in submission.
It could have been a fan write-in submission. If you want to have your submission seen on a podcast, make sure you check out our Patreon.
They're like, not this podcast.
Send it to somebody else.
Or, actually just post it on YouTube because we're kind of fucking running out of ideas.
No, we got tons of them.
Well, we got tons of ideas. Maybe if we cater, that will make it seem like...
Dude, I catered for years and I hate that job.
Oh, that's such a disappointment because that was like I legitimately enjoyed catering with you.
I enjoyed aspects of it. I've only recently got over certain places where I'm like, don't have major anxiety.
That's fair.
I was putting
no, you weren't.
terminating data cables in the old County Market on 48th.
Oh yeah,
It's coming Pizza Barn.
Ranch.
yeah.
Pizza Ranch, my bad.
It's going
I
to become
drove-
the biggest arcade in the state.
I drove past the
Yeah, I know.
old catering
You know how
building.
many data cables I had to terminate in there?
And nature is just
116.
reclaiming it.
That's why they call you the Terminator.
Yeah, that's not what they call me at work.
I'm excited. Another place to get fried chicken.
But where do you get fried chicken now?
KFC
McDonald's.
mostly, because everywhere else does not season their fried chicken.
I had a pretty decent fried chicken in Kansas City last week.
Was it Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas?
Missouri.
Oh.
Although,
Did you know that if you go to Kansas City, Kansas, then you don't have to have a front license plate?
I was going to say, you'd be surprised at the number of no front license plates that there are.
It's crazy. You would think that's something that you would know if you were like from Kansas.
Right?
Anyway, that was our fried chicken podcast. Coming back. So
That's
are
a
there?
great name for a podcast.
Fried chicken podcast? I bet there is one.
There is one, the Kentucky Fried Podcast.
Do they talk about chicken or they talk about Kentucky?
I think it's the guys from the Kentucky Fried Movie.
Was it a Kentucky Fried Movie?
Yeah.
Is that the one where they try to make
or
corn?
did they fry all of Kentucky?
No, isn't no, isn't no? I'm thinking of Wet Hot American Summer. Anyway, okay, so
Because those things are like Kentucky Fried,
yeah. So, are there anyone before? I've got some topics I was going to bring up, but does anyone have any flicks or TVs that should work but just don't? Whether it's your own personal opinion or just critically don't work.
Season 9 of Scrubs.
Duh.
No, fuck. Here we go.
Yeah.
Like the idea of like, hey, we're gonna try and keep it alive and keep the spirit of it. It just fell short because they abruptly took a lot of the soul right out of the show. Like you lost so many characters that last season, and you instead of doing that thing where you had to sprinkle them back characters you were gonna like back into it, they went from 0 to 60 of like, hey, we have 2 characters from the original show. That's it. And they were like...
And who were they?
That was Dr. Cox and Turk.
Oh, okay. Carla didn't return?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, Carla wasn't there. Elliot wasn't there. JD was there for 1 or 2
The
episodes.
janitor wasn't there.
He was there for 1 episode.
How many returned in the reunion season?
Oh, they got a lot of them.
Is
Well,
janitor
not
back?
everybody. Say what?
Janitor back?
I haven't seen him yet.
Did you see the newest one?
I haven't seen...
Okay, then I won't tell you what happened.
Yeah, don't... Like, I've been spoiled from it a little bit. And
JD gets shot in the head. Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert. JD gets shot in the head.
Oh, that makes it better.
Yeah, so... And if it's what I think is going to be, I'm going to kind of be pissed.
And it's Turk that shoots him.
Turk would never do
It's
that.
a long con. He actually hated JD from
Yeah.
the beginning. So what could they have done to make it better, in your opinion, as a Scrubs fan?
Not do it.
Okay, well they had
But
to.
it is so bad.
It had
that
the
when
best
they did
ending.
Season 9 was the greatest ending you could have done for Scrubs, in my opinion.
Season 8. You just said season 9 was...
Sorry, season 8 had the best. It is so bad that in the revival they completely ignore season 9. It never even happened in their mind.
Okay.
It is an Elseworld what if. You guys at home aren't going to get that, but that comes up later.
I will say this. I haven't watched the revival, but Zach Braff did an interview, and he's like... Because I guess in the original series, they shot in like an actual like abandoned hospital. Or
No, it was a working hospital.
well, it ended up closing down at this point. And
The hospital they filmed in?
No.
No, it used to be a working hospital.
No,
but
it was a working hospital on some of the lower levels, but they was able to do this top level. Wait, no, never mind.
Hollywood bought it. Closed down, and Hollywood bought it for production reasons.
And basically, for the revival, they built it from scratch. And I guess like they went through and like looked at footage and like matched up everything, because he's like, people will bitch if they're like, that light switch wasn't over there.
Why didn't they just set it in a different hospital?
I don't know if I know.
They
I
wanted-
haven't seen the revival. I don't know what happened.
Okay, so
The revival basically takes the premise that Sacred Heart never went anywhere. That
Okay.
JD's basically the only one that left, and that's it. And then he comes back.
And then Elliot divorced.
But
this has
Elliot
become our Scrub podcast.
Elliot had a private practice in season 9 though, right?
Yeah, but she still worked at Sacred Heart.
Oh, okay. What about Feeney?
Feeney.
Wasn't there a Dr. Feeney?
No.
Are you talking about Dr. Kelso?
Yeah, Kelso.
Well, he was retired at that point.
Oh, he did retire, so he's not in. Is he even the actor still
There
around?
is talk that he might be there for the next season.
Oh, so the actor's still around?
Yeah, he's still
Cool.
alive. It's just one of those things like, hey, we gotta like, we're kind of respecting him. Like, we're asking him respectfully if he'd like to do an episode.
Okay. Okay. Daniel?
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't like the Bayverse Transformers, but let's say, so you would say they don't work as a Transformer property. As a cool robot movie, they're cool, but
Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made that the first one worked, even though
Okay.
the first one had a shit ton of flaws. I think a lot of the rest of them kind of fall flat because they don't respect the lore.
okay, let's
They,
say
they don't even follow their own canon, do they?
No.
Because when we were talking about the Bayverse, I was genuinely trying to follow along, and I was like, that just went against the past three things that you just said, which in turn went against the three things that you just said. Like it,
Right.
It's like I had to be in my head. I was like that Charlie Day meme where he's got like all the stuff on the whiteboard trying to figure it out.
Yeah, the plot is too convoluted. They don't connect. They don't talk about, like, they don't respect their own canon. They don't...
Transformers have never been on Earth before, except for like when they fought in World War II, and then you know were there during King Arthur's time.
And during
and-
the pyramids.
Yeah,
And the Earth really is just a transformer.
yeah.
Yeah.
okay, so let me ask you this. Let's say Transformers 1 comes out. It's exactly the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do for the sequel to make it work as a Transformer franchise?
So if we're keeping Transformers 1, I think...
Yeah, you have to
like,
keep Transformers 1.
I think you have to scrap the core of Transformers 2.
Okay.
Because you have killed the most important villain ever in Transformers 1 already. So you kind of have to fast forward into the arc where he's going to get resurrected very, very soon. So Transformers 2, get away from the Fallen and that fucking made-up bullshit.
Okay. Okay.
And in Transformers 2, you grab another significant villain. And to me, the most logical person to put here would be Scorponok. And you make Scorponok the major villain because he takes over leadership of the Decepticons after Galvatron dies.
Wasn't he actually in the second one?
I thought he was in the first one.
Scorponok?
Yeah,
Isn't
I
he
thought
the
he would.
Scorp-
That
He's what
little
chased him through.
thing wasn't Scorponok.
No. This is a massive thing that's chasing them through the desert.
In the desert, wasn't that Scorponok?
I thought that was Blackout, like the helicopter.
No.
No, in the pyramids. Wasn't
Yeah,
that
you're
Scorponok?
talking about... I think I have a toy of him.
Was that not Scorponok?
Well, that
Exactly.
scorpion wasn't it was big in comparison to the humans, but it wasn't the like Autobot size.
Maybe I don't have a toy of him.
'Cause
Yeah, and I don't know if they ever named that
guy.
character.
Okay.
Scorponok was a scorpion Decepticon who served as Blackout's minion.
Yes,
He was
so-
killed by Jetfire in Egypt, so that would have been.
So
in
you want to
2.
make Scorponok the comic book?
He was in the first
cartoon
one and the
Scorponok.
second one.
Yeah, I would make him the actual villain, and we'll just give him the Brawl or the Devastator treatment that they did in Transformers 1.
Which is
So in Transformers 1, in the theater version, they have subtitles that are like that they're declaring who the Decepticons are. And a tank shows up and they say his name is Devastator. And there was such a big fan backlash that when it went to DVD, they edited that subtitle and it says Brawl instead of Devastator because they're like, that's not fucking Devastator.
but isn't
What
Brawl
wasn't
an
the
Autobot?
Devastator the one with the giant wrecking ball balls?
In 2, yes. Yeah.
Isn't Brawl a Autobot?
No, Brawl's a Decepticon.
What's the one that looks like has the color scheme of Man at Arms from He-Man?
That's Brawn.
Brawn. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Gotcha.
So I think you make Scorponok the main villain. You make because he is like mad scientist kind of character. All of the Decepticon bad guys are mad scientists, but you can use him as the main villain and do some sort of. At that point, the franchise is still pretty young, so they don't have a shit ton of money, in my opinion. So you still have to do a kind of a human-centric arc. So what I would do is in the comic books, Scorponok becomes the head of a government agency that is merging Transformer parts with humans.
Okay.
So you have all of these debris and leftover from the battle in New York that Scorponok could be taking and then working with the government and then making super soldiers and then having those super soldiers secretly being controlled by Scorponok through like a mind control thing. And then you have like the intrigue of trying to solve the resolution. You have this idea that you have to balance the human lives versus like destroying the robotics. And I think this opens up your ability to bring in like the Autobot science team.
And you can cross it over with Eagle Eye. That other Michael Bay.
The Shia LaBeouf movie? Wasn't that
Yeah.
Spielberg?
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah,
it
so-
seemed like a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, so you cut the bullshit Jetfire. You cut the racist ice cream bots.
Why
Jetfire
was
was 3.
why was Jetfire bullshit? I'm not denying it.
No, sorry.
He was
saying
2.
Sentinel was 3.
Yes,
Because-
Sentinel 3? Sentinel 4.
Sentinel's 3.
Sentinel 3. Just because I didn't like that Jetfire. Like, Jetfire is such a cool and interesting character, and you make him a dumbass, grizzled, old thing that disrespects the canon already that they've established, where he's been on Earth for certain periods of time. And the first thing you do is kill him so he can transform and make Optimus more powerful, which Optimus would not agree to.
I did see something where it's like, where Jetfire's like, I'm dying, and then it's just a clip of Optimus Prime like just like ripping his corpse apart, and he's like, mine now, bitch, and then
Yeah, exactly. Like, Prime would not do that. And then, like, you have a medic on the team. So, like, the medic can start working on, like, the people, but this brings in, like I said, the science division, so you could bring in Wheeljack and actually have him be the Autobot mad scientist that foils Scorponok.
You could also bring in Shockwave, right, for the Decepticon mad scientist? Because wasn't he a evil...
Well,
Yes, but I think that's part of the problem with the Bay movies, is they're just like, oh, here are all these cool characters, let's just put them all in and not take any time to explore them.
Okay.
I mean, they do that in such a way that there canonically are 2 Wheeljacks in the Bay universe, and one of them is dead. And they just decided, oh, well, forget about that Wheeljack, here's a new Wheeljack. Like, put a character in and respect who that character is. Like, do you remember Livewire from Transformers 2?
nope.
Yeah, because he exists in, I think, 2 scenes. He never speaks. He has no personality. And the one of the 2 scenes that they didn't cut of Livewire is when Prime gets the equipment on and Livewire like electrocutes him to make it all work. And that might be... No, I'm pretty sure that's in 2. Because like he's in the same thing with Drift. Like he's a blue car that gets 2 scenes, and you just like when he comes up, he's like, "Who the fuck is that?" Right? So like you get rid of all of these nameless fucking people and start building it up where you make the Transformers characters instead of just robots that get blown up.
Okay.
Like
He's not even important enough to have his own wiki page.
yeah. But like, so that's movie 2, is you have this conflict with Scorponok, and you get some distance for Megatron's death. In 3, you bring in Shockwave. And Shockwave, mad scientist, and at that point I would develop the Dinobot storyline. Because everyone's excited about the Dinobots, and the Dinobots and Shockwave are classically like opposed to each other. So you have the Dinobots showing up, you have Shockwave, and then this would be a good place for Shockwave's experiments to reveal the Gestalts. So here's where you have
What are those?
the Transformers that make bigger Transformers.
Oh, okay.
So Devastator, for example. So here you have, like at the end of 2, you have a significant number of the Decepticons dead or running for their lives, right? So you bring in a whole new cast, and you bring in Shockwave, you bring in the Constructicons, and you make that the main threat.
So are you moving more away from human focused to?
Yes,
Okay.
because hopefully by the end of movie 2, we have generated enough money that we don't need fucking Shia LaBeouf and his actual cannibalism.
And then we can just kill all the humans.
I'm getting to there.
Humans.
But what are we
Kill
gonna
all
do in the
humans.
movie?
Kill all humans.
Yeah. So,
We're gonna, hey, you have technology beyond our wildest dreams, and you could possibly solve all our problems. We serve you now.
Why Adam?
Sorry. We serve you now. Dr. Manhattan, who's secretly in that box.
he's
Thanks
not in
for
that box anymore.
thanks for
What?
spoiling
He's
it.
not in that box anymore.
That was
not?
Schrodinger's box.
That box is empty. But anyway, so like 3, you bring in Shockwave, you bring in the Dinobots as like, oh my god, we can't fight Devastator. He's too strong. He's too powerful. He's wrecking cities. So then
He's devastating things.
right. So then you have Ratchet and Wheeljack being like, okay, we need to make our own, and then you can have them do this like the stuff in the storyline where you have them discovering dinosaur bones and going, we can bake that, and then you can make Grimlock, Slag, Snarl, Sludge, and Swoop, and you make them, and then from there you can have this epic fight between the Dinobots and Prime and Devastator, and you have this cool reveal of the Dinobots turning into Volcanicus, and then they save the day. So Dinobots kill Devastator or defeat Devastator.
It's just a giant Grimlock.
I still want to see it.
Yeah. So then movie 4, I think, is where you start working with the buildup of Galvatron. So movie 4, I think you start with the corpses and what's going on, like the Decepticon. So what's going on with the different dead bodies, and like with Megatron and all the characters that you decide to kill leading up to that point. You can even include some Autobots in here if you wanted to. And then you have our surviving villains, hopefully like Shockwave and Starscream.
You mean you don't kill the villain every single movie?
No, you leave a couple of them alive. And then like Starscream, who was a scientist, you can have the two of them go out, and Starscream was also a deep space research scientist. That was his specialty before he became Air Force commander. So you have him searching for things, and you have him find Unicron, or what you think is Unicron, and the giant classic planet size.
Unicron is Earth.
We're getting to that.
Okay.
We're getting to that. So you have this Unicron.
Man, you're going full Cody with the
I know, right?
hitting things.
You get Unicron, who then takes them in, and you get that cool reformatting resurrection scene in the first 5-10 minutes of the movie, where you now have Galvatron and the Sweeps and Cyclonus. You have a whole new cast of cool ass characters, and Unicron, instead of wanting to destroy specific things, is like, I want Earth. Take me to Earth. So you have the Decepticon Armada, led by Galvatron, lead the planet-sized Unicron to Earth. And on the Autobot side, you can see where they have, unified Earth and created this beautiful, like, utopia, like, you know, the new Golden Age, this symbiosis between humans and Autobots. And then you have, like, the epic fight between the Decepticons and the Autobots, and then, like, Unicron.
And
right?
then the savior, Rodimus Prime, arrives.
Yeah. So you have Unicron, and they're like, this, like, how
But
do
why
we...
is he going to have a French accent, though?
Yeah, so...
They gave him a French accent?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he was the car that was the butler bot
No, that was a different guy.
No, that was Hot Rod.
No, the butler robot you're thinking about and the Hot Rod were two separate characters.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
He was
still the French servant of the one guy.
I know nothing about the character. I just really like the name Rodimus Prime.
He's a fucking cool character.
And
I am Rodimus Prime.
And they gave him... Oh, that's so disappointing.
Yeah. So anyway, so you have big epic fight and storyline that involves, like, shooting Autobots into space to, like, lay mines and bombs and shit on Unicron. So there you get, like, your Wreckers. There you get Hot Rod. Yes.
And then we have to take a team of Earth drillers and send them into space to Unicron. And then one of them gets space madness. And then they've got to tie Steve Buscemi to a nuke.
No, well...
No, he gets to live because they thought he went crazy, but no, he wanted to die to escape from the death.
In this movie, it wouldn't be Steve Buscemi. It would be the dude that was in Section 13 or whatever.
Sector 7?
Sector 7 would be that guy.
Totoro?
Totoro, yeah, it'd be that guy.
Yeah.
The Toots.
So,
The Toots.
So you have the Autobot team that is fighting the Unicron's new minions. You have whole new characters. You can do a whole bunch of cool, interesting things. You make it like a war movie behind enemy lines.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
No, of course not. They're going to make shit instead.
We're just going to blow shit up and then pretend that no one notices.
Right. And then, like, they get to that epic part where, like, okay, the bombs are planted, we've done all of this thing, and we hit detonate, and they explode, and Unicron is unfucking phased. It is unharmed, and it's like, okay, we have failed. So then you have, like, Unicron, like, start digging those giant things into Earth.
Pincers?
Yeah, pincers into Earth, and it starts being like a disaster movie. Like, shit starts breaking, things are on fire, the Earth is being destroyed, and then we have, like, arcs launching off of Earth, holding humans, Autobots, all of that. And at the end of 4, the Unicron that we know from 4 is fully, like, linked in, and we find out that Earth is Unicron, and this was, like, a vessel, or like the spark of Unicron. And we end movie 4 with the transformation of Earth, which destroys it, and you see this epic fucking Unicron shot silhouetted by the sun with all of the shuttles leaving. Then, in 5, you could do the Beast Wars storyline, where you have some amount of Autobots. You just, instead of calling them Maximals, you make them Autobots, and they go back in time to stop the destruction of the Earth. And then you can have this cool sequence of them going back in time and, like, working with the Autobots that you see killed in the destruction at the end of 4, and then they can stop the destruction by stopping Starscream and Shockwave at the end of 5 from reaching Unicron and creating a divergent timeline. And
this is how we end the franchise.
That is as far as the ideas I have.
No, this is how we end the franchise.
Okay.
So you get that time travel thing, and then everything's being good. You get the hero shot, everything's fine. Fade to black. You hear a deet 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 of a hospital, and it fades in. It's a kid with a snow globe, and it was all in that guy.
No, that's only if we include during 4 when it becomes a disaster movie. The Rock is flying in helicopter in California trying to save everybody.
No, actually, that sounds a whole lot more entertaining than the Michael Bay universe.
Yeah, but see, you could do it in a way, I mean, where you can explain things where you're not alienating the people that love the franchise and then the people that are new to it.
Exactly. Like, you can't, like, as much as I would love a live action 1-for-1 shot-for-shot remake of Generation 1 cartoon, it doesn't work, right? It only panders to certain people. So the IP needs to change and modify and create new fandoms, but you can't do that without, like you said, alienating the people who made that stuff popular and still respecting that lore. So you can make a combination of the two to make an interesting story.
It's finding a middle ground. Like, when I hate giving him credit, but when Green Lantern came out, Adam was just like, you can't, I was like, they dumbed it down so much. He goes, yeah, but it's not just for you. It's for you, but it's also trying to explain, decades of mythology to new people.
Who have
I
no
would-
clue.
I was wrong though, because right before the title said it's dedicated to Tyler Tipton.
Exactly.
So I was wrong. I was wrong.
but-
It was for you.
But their problem was they dumbed it down. I mean, multiple problems, but they dumbed it down so damn much that at least the people that I talk to, they're like, well, yeah, they're explaining this like I can't tie my own shoes. No offense to Adam, who's wearing flip flops.
Velcro.
And so that's why I think if you would do something like that where you could explain it, but not, alienate either side.
Not explain it to a way where it seems like it's condescending. Like, well, you don't understand. You see, 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah. And now,
go
to
ahead.
be fair, when I first watched Green Lantern, I knew nothing about the character. Like, I was still relatively new into my getting into superheroes. I was mostly rooted in Marvel. I hadn't read much beyond Batman. So I knew Green Lantern was a thing. I knew the basic idea, but I didn't know any of the deeper lore. So I ended up walking away from that movie going, man, I really enjoyed that. And it wasn't until like I started reading more about Green Lantern and experiencing more of the DC universe outside of Batman that I'm like, oh, I kind of see what people are talking about now.
Yeah. I mean, they just made him, in my opinion, they made him an amalgamation of too many different versions of Green Lantern. And then, like I said, after rewatching it, I'm like, okay, I get why they kind of dumbed it down a little bit. And then they're like, let's just cram everything into this and hope that something sticks. And I think that was the problem.
That's fair.
All right, so let's talk about the elephant.
I don't get to talk about mine.
What's your thing?
So mine was
No, you don't get to talk about
okay,
it.
fine.
Okay.
Yes, you
no,
do.
No, go ahead.
It's the
Who do you think? No, go ahead.
I'm
It's
the guy
the-
who's going to get slapped by you later.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's-
So you want to keep that up.
I don't think you got your threats right.
I'm so confused and slightly aroused. The Disney.
So wait, is Tyler yes or no going to explain his movie?
I'm confused. He threw me for a loop. I don't know.
I'm going to slap Cody while Adam watches.
Yeah. You see, you start this shit, you're not the one who gets to slap me.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
You tell him who's boss, Cody.
That's right.
Now get that fucking whip out.
I'm so confused as to who's boss. The Disney Doctor Who joint venture.
Okay, all right.
So what is that?
So Doctor Who is made the BBC and Disney made a deal where Disney was like, "Hey, we're gonna give you a butt ton of money to produce Doctor Who. We'll put it on Disney Plus, and then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we get to dictate X, Y, and Z." And the BBC's like, hell yeah, write some checks.
Right.
Because Doctor Who has always been, I mean, I don't know about the BBC, but Doctor Who has always been not low budget, but if you watch like some of the revival, you're like, ooh, that is not like some of their costumes in the original series, like they're like reused from like Pinewood Studios is in London, right?
Yep.
Like they're like basically like Pinewood Studios like rejects. They're like, we don't want this, and they're like, give it to us. We will find a use for it.
Basically, they used BBC. Doctor Who was always financially viable, and it was the redheaded stepchild. They used Doctor Who. They kind of mistreated it, but it made money. So they were like, we're not giving you any money.
Because you've already proved you can do well with
so
that.
you do that shit, and while all the revenue that you bring in, we're not going to dump it back into you. We're going to use it for the shit that we want to spend it on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're like, okay, you got to have a show with, I mean, for the most part, in my opinion, very, very good storylines. You know, every so often you have one, you're like, that was bad. And then Disney money behind it. So you would think, oh, okay, this good story, more money, what could possibly go wrong? But then Disney's like, we don't want an unknown. We want you to pick this guy, this Ncuti Gatwa, who was, rising in popularity. They're like, we want to bring in more people So like they completely took Doctor Who and they're like, hey, all this stuff that's worked for you, we want you to stop doing that and do everything that works because we tell you to. And so like the storylines got convoluted. You had an actor who played the role really good, but he didn't want to be there. Like if you talk to other actors who have played the Doctor, like you are, when you're in that role, that consumes your entire life. Like you go to cons, like you do all of these things. Like that's why Christopher Eccleston doesn't hate it, but he's just like, hey, I did it. I did my season. I don't want to do anymore. I don't really want to talk about it.
Well, that's what Christopher Nolan said to Christian Bale when he accepted. He goes, like, look, you do this Batman movie. He goes, whether it's popular or not, doesn't matter what you can make the world's greatest movie forever, but you will always be Batman. He goes, there's worse things to be remembered as. He goes, if you're Batman and this movie tanks or it sells $1 billion, no matter what you do for the rest of your life, people will come up to you and you will always be Batman. And Christian Bale's like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. So I mean, you had an actor who just didn't want that. So, he was like, well, I want to go off on doing my own thing. And Disney's like, well, we want him to be happy. So like you'd have, long hiatuses between all of these things. And then finally he's just like, you know what, I'm offered this. It's what I want to do. Break my contract. That's why if you look at the last series finale, it is an absolute disaster. Like the writing looks like it was like changed like mid shoot. Like plot lines don't line up. Like they've like reset an entire universe. Like they had like all these big like leading towards these big reveals, and then they just drop them, and it was just like I said, you would think that that it would have worked. I guess it goes back to what I said before. Like, what is it? The when I was talking about like Steven Spielberg and Jaws. Like the less money you have, the more creative you have to be.
Yeah. What's that saying?
Is it what is it?
The necessity is the mother of invention.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, you can watch Doctor Who and see like okay, that's a really crappy special effect, but you're not focused on that because the storyline is so good. You just, in my opinion, you just fill in the blanks with what else needs to be there. So that's my opinion for what should have worked but failed miserably.
I think there's a lot of problems today. I think so. I think a big problem is. And I'm going to straddle the side on both of the political things. I don't necessarily think like the one side is if you're not a fan of Doctor Who or you're not a fan of this, you're not a fan of that, you shouldn't be acting in it. That's not necessarily true. Actors got to work. They got bills. But I think there should be a little bit of a respect for so this whole thing of like when someone becomes Batman or someone becomes Captain Marvel or someone becomes whatever, they get interviewed and they're like, yeah, I don't know anything about it. And then the fans will attack them. It's like this is a new phenomenon. Like, I don't think Michael Keaton's a well-respected Batman actor, right?
He attacks every role with the ferocity of a bear.
He openly admitted, like, he didn't know jack shit about Batman.
But see, I think it doesn't. You don't necessarily, and I'm agreeing with. I don't think you necessarily need to be like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't.
No, that's what I'm agreeing with you for once. I don't think you need to be. I think fans are just really horrible.
I think
now.
We've been spoiled by people like Nathan Fillion, who are genuinely nerds and love this stuff. So he genuinely is like when he wanted to be Drake from Uncharted.
Yeah.
Or when he wanted to be not Captain Kirk, the Green Lantern guy.
Hal Jordan.
I don't know why I thought
Captain.
Like he
At least he didn't say Captain Crunch. I thought that's where he was going.
Like he likes this stuff. Another one is Affleck. When he was Daredevil, he's like, I fucking love Daredevil. And when he became Batman, we got spoiled by that. But sometimes like Gary Oldman, I think we would all agree, awesome Commissioner Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He never read a single fucking. He don't know. He's like, okay.
And I think that is the difference. It is, you don't have to be a fan as long as when you're in it, you respect it.
Yeah, like Christopher Lee has gone on record and saying, You make good movies and you make bad movies, but you're not bad in the bad movie. You do your 100% in whatever you're given.
Yeah. Now, I guess I have a little bit of a different perspective on that, and I agree that like not every actor who gets cast needs to know, like, have an encyclopedic knowledge of the thing.
Right.
Like Henry Cavill, for example. Like Henry Cavill knows all of the things about everything that he casts.
The Witcher, and I mean that's why I don't think people say he's difficult to work with. I think he's just really passionate about everything that he does.
Right, and that's kind of what made him leave The Witcher, because he could not separate out, this is what happens in the books and the games. I don't want it to happen in the show because this is how it's supposed to happen, right? So you can't have that kind of actor in every role. But for me, if I was going to be cast as some well-respected character from a media, even if I know jack shit about that person, the first thing I do is I'm going to pick up a handful of the most popular whatever of that person.
Right, yeah.
If it's a video game, I'm going to pick up the most popular of the video game, and I'm going to play through the video game. If it's a book, I'm going to pick up the novel. If it's a comic book, I'll pick up the top 2 or 3 books of that person, so I at least have an idea of who that person is.
That's no difference than Daniel Day-Lewis playing Abraham Lincoln and him go reading books and you research. But anyway, the point is, so we've been spoiled by that, and I don't think we necessarily need, because acting is a job, and Dennis Hopper has very publicly said, like, because he played Bowser or Koopa in King Koopa, and it's very publicly he had opened and said, like, his child was like very like, why did you make this movie? And he's like, because you needed new sneakers, and the kid was like, I don't need sneakers that bad.
Well, it's the Jaws 3 with Michael Caine, where he's like, have you ever seen how horrible that movie is? And he goes, no, but I saw the house that it bought.
Yeah, so there's that, but there's also, so I think, and I think I've said this before, like, I don't think fanboys, and I like Zack Snyder, I really do. I think he's visually amazing. The problem is, I don't think he should work in what he's a fanboy on.
Adam, we're talking about his movies. I don't care what you think about him as a person.
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying is, like, visually stunning.
Yes, we get it.
He
You
is
think
so
he's pretty.
gorgeous. He's so gorgeous. You could just, but like he's a fanboy. So like, I think there should be a person who's really good at storytelling, who's awesome at storytelling, and then if you as a director is a fan of whatever IP you're working on, that's awesome. But you need that person to be like, that is not how, that's not good storytelling.
Now,
you need a person who's really good at divulging the message to the masses.
Absolutely.
I think you can have a fanboy. I think it's good, but I think you also have to, more importantly than that, you have to have someone that tells the fanboy no.
That's what I mean by
you
this.
gotta have someone to pull the leash.
Wasn't like the original trilogy of Star Wars, George Lucas was saying everything, and I think it was like his wife was just like, no.
His wife didn't. He was having a meltdown. He didn't really know what he was doing, and his wife went in and edited. And his wife saved the original trilogy through her editing.
I think like in the original trilogy, I thought it was he wanted like. He was saying like I this and this, and then someone was like no, and then when it came to the prequels, Star Wars was so big and everyone was so excited, like everybody was just like, do whatever the hell you want, and so like no one told him no,
right?
So he put in whatever he wanted for good or for bad.
So continuing and this is a dangerous line, because I know I'm not 100% right in my theory, because it's a dangerous line, because if you start walking the way I'm talking, you're going to get a movie made by committee. And
are you walking the line?
I'm walking the line. The Dewey Cox story. Those movies are usually not good when you're made by a committee, but you need one person with a vision, and he is the captain. He's the leader. He's God. He's the president. Whatever title you want to give him, he's the one with the vision.
We were jumping all over with those titles.
Yeah, but you need the president or the God or whatever to put out his vision.
Uppercase G or lowercase G?
So is that why there's just so many scandals in Hollywood? There's just so many people with God complexes?
Yes.
We call them doctors.
That's why our podcast works so well, because I'm the God.
Yes.
And all of you worship me.
That is true.
Yeah.
But
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But I know it's dangerous because then you start getting a movie made by a committee, and people are like, studios got to stay out of it. No, studios don't have to stay out of it because you guys are not you guys. I mean, the public is forgetting Hollywood is a business. It's not all about you can't just. It's all about no, it's not. They are giving this dude money. They need their fucking money back.
Yeah.
So, but there needs to be
the studio has to exist tomorrow so it can also make another movie.
Yeah. So we need. Let's call him a director. Let's go out on a lim and say director. We need this guy.
Thank God everyone could see that air quotes.
Yeah.
We need him to have the master vision, but these people he needs to filter this vision through these people. So you got a storyteller, and even in today's world, we got the social political war that's going on. You can even have one of those people, and then you've got
one of those people.
Yeah, one of those people. I don't know what their titles are. And then you got the studio. You need his vision filtered through those people. You can't have the studio taking over, because I don't know how many MCU flicks behind the scenes, the ones that have bombed, have locked out the directors. They're like, we're taking over. They've locked them out of the editing room, and they've hired guns who basically just say, how do you want this movie edited? Okay, we'll do it that way. You can't have that. You can't fire people who are professional writers and directors who know how to tell a story and hire political activists on Twitter to take control, because they don't know how to tell a story. They know that the message that they want.
It's like we want this to be something that this movie is known for, but if you don't naturally do it, it just sticks out like a sore thumb.
Right. And you can't have someone like Snyder just being an overlord, because then you get his experimentation in the DC universe. I think you need that filter of those three. I don't know.
Okay, so just so I've got the movie hierarchy
I think so.
set up. God is okay.
Let's call him Snyder.
Overlord is not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want an overlord.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. Just making sure I got that correct.
Did my rambling make any sense?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
And we're just busting your chops.
Oh, okay.
So kind of piggybacking on that about things that you would think would work but don't. So like for instance, The Rock and Black Adam, or so looking at that, he talked it up, and I could be wrong, but I mean, does anybody like that movie? Has anyone even seen it?
I enjoyed it.
I mean, I didn't hate it. It wasn't nearly as big as it was made out to be.
Right.
Problems I had with it was, okay, so this is supposed to be part of the Snyderverse or whatnot, and it was supposed to culminate between Black Adam versus Superman, right?
Eventually, that's what he was.
So, in the stuff that was established, we really didn't have certain levels of high technology just out in the fucking open. In my understanding, like Batman had his $1 billion money getting his Batjet and all that stuff, but just in this foreign country in the middle of nowhere, they had better military technology than the government had to deal with all the shit that was happening with Superman and all that things. So they jumped technology to 1,000 degrees. When all this stuff was happening with Superman, yada yada, Justice Society was nowhere to fucking be seen, but they've been a thing for years at this point. One guy's so old and grizzled at it that he's like, oh, I'm getting up there in years. I think this.
They gave him the Tobey Maguire treatment, where he always took off his helmet.
It's like they introduced so many things in the movie that weren't established in the previous movies to a degree. Like, okay, well, we're trying, and it feels like such a course correction of like, hey, I'm doing this to make this.
Yeah, see, it's just another movie that was good in concept, but in execution happened poorly. Like, I enjoyed it for what it was, but you could have made that movie fantastic, and they didn't.
But the thing that I was thinking about was, so the Rock placed himself as the spearhead for that movie. Talking about it's gonna change the DC hierarchy forever, but then it like had to follow the Rock's rules, where Black Adam wasn't a bad guy.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not a hero every single time, but then did nothing but heroic things. And I know in the comics he's gone back and forth. He's been a villain. He's been I guess you'd call him like similar to Venom, where he's not really a hero but not really a villain.
I really equate Black Adam to Doctor Doom.
Okay.
Because when he needs to be heroic, he will be heroic because he recognizes that
He does.
I don't want to destroy the Earth. I live here.
Yeah.
And then he cares about his people. Like, Doom cares legitimately about the people of Latveria. But Doom is willing to sacrifice all of anything you see as morality or ethics to do that, and for his personal power. And I've always seen Black Adam kind of the same way. As long as you stay out of... Is it Kaldahar?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you stay out and respect his sovereign nation, then he's not going to fuck you up. But
But-
the moment you do it, then he has no problem throwing you into the sun.
He should have been introduced as a villain in the first
I agree.
because he was introduced in the comics as a villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why he should have been.
Like, the hero shift should have been after his defeat, and, oh, the guy I'm having trouble with, my old enemy has come to help me.
Yeah, you see, I think what they should have done is you cut out the Justice Society entirely from their particular plot. We'll bring in Dr. Fate, but we'll get there in a second. And I think you cut them out entirely, and you speed up the movie. Like, you cut out 3/4 of the movie that we got, so that at the half-hour mark, you have Black Adam solving the problem of the nation. Whatever that bad guy is, we get the reveal that he was a bad person when he got the power of Black Adam, and that his son is supposed to have it. And then you get that shot of him on the throne, and then you get like that evil smile where it's like, okay, he hasn't been saving people for half an hour. He's been beating people to a pulp for half an hour. Now we get this view of him being the bad guy. Then in that movie, you could have the Superman show up, and he's like, okay, you are a tyrant, you are doing all these awful things, you're a dictator, and I'm going to remove you. And then Black Adam whoops his ass because Black Adam's magic based. Mm-hmm. Like, you put Superman on death's door, and you make Superman run away. Right?
Should Superman even be in it? Why isn't Shazam?
Because that's what I was talking about when I said The Rock, because I think originally it was supposed to be Shazam, and The Rock's like, I don't want to fight fucking Shazam. I want to fight Superman.
But it was The Rock wanting to pair up with Cavill. That's nothing. He doesn't care about the character.
That's what I'm saying. It's the reason I brought up Black Adam is you get a charismatic actor that people like, who somehow, I don't know if he was a producer on the movie, maybe not, but he's like, he takes control, similar to like Tom Cruise has done, where he's like, in not saying all the instances are bad, but he's like, I don't want to do that, we're going to do it like this now. So that's what I'm saying, like, it could work, but it doesn't.
I go back and forth on. I'm sorry. Then I'll shut up. I go back and forth on Tom Cruise because he is fucking insane with his religious beliefs. But like, people give him a lot of grief for like taking over the Mummy. That movie would have shut down if he didn't come in.
No, and I'm not saying it's always bad. That's why I brought it up, because it should work at times. But I'm saying for this instance with Black Adam, it didn't.
Right, okay, all right, fair enough. Sorry, go ahead.
So I just think, like, then you have like Superman run away, and then you have him go to Shazam and being like, this dude with magic powers just whooped my ass.
And he has the same symbol you do.
That, and you're the only magic-based hero that I know, besides Wonder Woman, who is off-planet fucking around doing whatever. So, can you help me? And Shazam's like, sure, I know a guy. And then you have Shazam know Dr. Fate, and then you have a team-up of Shazam, Superman, Dr. Fate, put Black Adam in his place.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
And then you have, like, Black Adam kind of fight to a standstill, and you go like, this is my kingdom, I will do what I want, the rest of the world can be yours, or whatever at the end.
I don't know, somewhere I really want a scene, mainly because I think about it, not all the time, but so in some versions of it, when the wizard Shazam he can't kill Black Adam, so he literally banishes him to the edge of the universe, and I want the last scene, just Black Adam just tearing across space, just like because he travels for thousands and thousands of years, and like his rage is what keeps him alive. because he just wants to get back to kill the person that banished him. And then we could have not had that horrible Shazam 2 movie.
Right. Yeah.
Because that was another movie that should have worked, but didn't. You had an actor, Zachary Levi, who he put too much of what appears, in my opinion, his actual personality into the character, and then it completely changed the character and therefore the movie. At least in my opinion. You had, a kid that acted more like an adult than your adult in the movie.
That brings
Right.
up a good point. Do you kind of think we don't really have actors anymore? I mean, we do, but you've got like people like Zachary Levi, and I'm probably going to get a bunch of shit for this, but you got people like Ryan Reynolds. They're basically just playing themselves in every fucking role.
Yeah, I mean, you have people that are.
I mean,
not saying everyone has to be, Daniel Day-Lewis, where like you
Right.
absorb yourself in the role, but pretty
Right.
soon, like I don't know if necessarily typecasted might be the right word, but like you don't see actors where they're changing very much, even if like they're strictly a comedic actor. Like Ryan Reynolds in a comedic role is always the same,
Sarcastic.
quick talking.
he's basically Deadpool, but he's the hitman's bodyguard.
Yeah.
You take away the cancer and the red suit, and he's basically Deadpool, but he's the hitman's bodyguard. Or he's the dude in the video game, the NPC in the video game.
Free guy, or you give him an animated Green Lantern suit and he's Deadpool in a Green Lantern suit.
I mean, because like Chris Evans, I mean, isn't he just playing the same kind of?
No, Chris Evans got range. He used to be the cocky jackass before he was America's favorite son.
No, look at him in Captain America, then look at him in The Gift,
Okay.
or
alright.
Gifted, and then look at him in Knives Out. I mean,
Okay, I'll
he
take
he
that.
does different roles and stuff like that. And I mean,
Yeah.
I know Ryan Reynolds plays, like he was in a movie called the Woman in Gold, about trying to get art returned to its rightful owner. But even in that movie, he still had like quippy lines where his Deadpool was showing, and that was before Deadpool came out. So I mean, I think the most popular actors, they have that one thing, and it's like they've just stuck to it.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Anyway,
It's one of those things where it's just so refreshing. Like, when The Rock does comedy, I absolutely love him. Like, because The Rock, when he does the serious action star where he does a joke every now and then, it's just, okay, the same character. What's that one movie where he plays the secret agent that's on the run that meets Kevin Hart again?
Central
Spot.
Intelligence.
Yeah.
Central Intelligence. When he does straight comedy and whatnot, like, I absolutely love him. Like, I love that idea where he plays a giant goofy guy. It's amazing. Like, it's just great.
Okay.
It's another good example of that.
The other guys.
Yeah, the other guys.
But yeah, like I said, I think no one wants range anymore. Like no one wants to see Ryan Reynolds be serious. They love Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, so they want to see him as Deadpool. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I just don't think it's necessarily a new phenomenon.
no, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying like it's what most recently
Oh no,
comes
yeah.
to,
I mean,
it's what most recently comes to mind talking in this
look,
instance.
Right.
like
'cause I mean-
shooting from the hip, John Wayne, pretty much. Except
Yeah,
for a
exactly.
few movies, Elvis, pretty much played the same
I mean,
dude.
Clint Eastwood
Yeah.
always plays the same kind of
Yeah.
character. I mean, how many comedies did Jim Carrey and Robin Williams do before they branched out into a serious role?
It depends on if they have a beard. It's like whenever he was serious. It's like if you saw Robin Williams' beard, like, oh fuck, he's got a serious movie coming out.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay,
You know?
fair enough.
So I agree with you that we put these actors into a place where they are themselves, where they aren't necessarily acting a lot. But then you have other actors who really dynamically change a role every time they take a role.
Fair enough.
Like Willem Dafoe. I think Willem Dafoe does not play Willem Dafoe in every movie. I think Willem Dafoe, like, he has some characteristics that he brings in, but that's his acting style. I think he dramatically changes that character very much. Like every time he steps into a new role. Gary Oldman, I think, is a fantastic example.
Yeah.
He has such incredible range. So I think you have
Christian Bale's another one.
Yeah, so I think you have characters or actors who play themselves with a veneer of the character they're playing, like Ryan Reynolds, John Wayne,
Adam Sandler.
But
do you think that
Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
Stallone?
Do you think that audiences, just speaking about this time frame that we're in right now, do you think audiences care more? You know, if you were just, do you think an audience would care more that they would rather see Ryan Reynolds do his Deadpool shtick compared to Ryan Reynolds do like a serious movie like Buried or something like that?
I think it depends on the actor and the person, but I mean, I think the actor name draws you into the movie, right? So like, if, for example, if I like Ryan Reynolds, I like him as an actor, he appeals to me as a character. So if I see him in a movie, I'm more interested to take a little bit more look into it, and maybe I'll watch it, So like, if I go to see a Ryan Reynolds movie, I'm kind of expecting something about Ryan Reynolds, So I think there is some expectation that you want it to look that way, but again, you don't want it to be the exact same thing. It has to be changed enough to fit the story that I think that people would accept him stepping outside of that role. Like, even though things like Robin Williams did, like What Dreams May Come and
Good Will Hunting.
Was it 8mm?
Oh, no.
1 hour photo.
1
Hour photo. Thank you.
yeah.
1 hour photo, and the one where he is.
Even Hook.
Yeah, I mean Hook.
Yeah.
Like he kind of plays outside of who he is, and like Hook is probably the best of those movies. Oh, Good Will Hunting, but like those were things that we accepted, So I think it's okay. I just don't. I think you have to be very clear when you have a character or an actor that has established themselves as a particular type of actor, like the Robin Williams of the world, right? If I took my child to World's Best Dad because I expected it to be a comedy like Mrs. Doubtfire because Robin Williams is in it.
Where's your child at? I haven't seen
Well,
him in
I think
forever.
there
We don't talk about him.
Oh, okay.
There was like I remember controversy because kind of that happened because of Death to Smoochie. Because literally he's playing a child's entertainer in the movie, and everybody assumed like, oh, this is going to be a comedy, but it turned out to be sort of like a drama thriller almost to a degree.
Yeah.
Because it was like him planning to kill the guy who replaced him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you see that even with like within genre, because I've told you about the story when I went to see Watchmen in theaters, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Were you Canadian? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Watchmen came out, and my dad. It came right around my dad's birthday, so we went and saw it for my dad's birthday because my dad loves Watchmen, and we were in the theaters, and in comes this family. And it's mom and dad and a teenage son and like a 10-year-old boy and then like a 6-year-old girl.
Yeah, I had the same experience.
Yeah, they came in, sat down, watched Watchmen, and I'm like, these people have no idea what this movie's about. They have not read the age restriction, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I leaned over to my ex-wife and said, I wonder how this is going to play out.
Yeah. So if I remember right, that family got real uncomfortable at the giant dick swinging Manhattan that shows up.
Or the elongated fuck session and the owl ship to Hallelujah.
Don't think they made it to.
Oh, mine did. I was like, I wasn't even watching. I was watching the dad. I was like, how's this playing out?
Yeah, I don't think they made it there. I think they got to Night Owl's failure to launch scene.
Okay.
And then they're like, yeah, this is not an appropriate movie. Let's go.
Yeah.
I think that's where they got.
See, our parents would have been like, we paid for this. Sit down. We're watching. Just cover your eyes.
Yeah, look away whenever we tell you to.
Now, the only thing that I'll have that might if it doesn't fit in this title, we can move on. But
Okay, we're moving on. Okay,
Oh, I
so
thought you said we could edit it. I'm like,
no,
that's not
no,
gonna
no, no.
happen.
Ed, do you want to move on?
No.
It was the talk of, or it's box office. So not necessarily that Marvel started, but Marvel with Infinity War and their entire saga blew up the box office, making billions of dollars. Now it seems like if a movie does not hit a huge percentage, they just drop it. Like there's just nothing.
Well, it's kind of what happened. So, my very limited understanding with politicalness, but supposedly there's no more middle class, right? There's upper lower class, and then the 1%, because we've made it to where the middle class has gone out. That's kind of what happened with middle movie. It used to be you had your summer tent pole movies, and those funded your medium level movies, your Nightmare on Elm Street movies that weren't blockbusters, but they made a ton of movies. So that filtered down to those to keep those going, and then they use all the funds for that to make your Oscar bait art house films. But you kind of got rid of that middle ground now. Those movies kind of go to streaming now. You do have your art house flicks very rarely, but it seems like you said, it's and it may be because theaters are dying. They're like, fuck, we gotta make your tentpole movie. It's gotta make $1 billion because no one's really going to theaters anymore.
Well, go ahead, Cody. Sorry.
Well, on top of increasing prices everywhere, it is like one of those things as a self-funding cycle of like, hey, let's go to the movies. Like, the tickets have kind of like maybe have increased to a certain degree. I'll say ticket prices have not been the thing that's drastically increased, but everything else associated with it has just fucking gone insane. Like, going to get a large soda popcorn should not be $17. In my opinion.
But I think
that's where they make the money.
I think that's
Exactly.
like anything else. That's like when you go to like sports. If you go to a baseball game, you're like, I want a soda and a hot dog. Okay, $50. I mean, they have you over a barrel. You can't get it anywhere else.
Right, but it's like that was acceptable to a certain amount of degree, I think. But once you got to that point where, we're getting less and less people in here, and we actually now at the point where we are not making enough money to even pay people, we got to increase prices to where we can afford the people that work and run the theater. That therefore drives more people away. Oh, we need more money. Drives more people away.
And I mean, I don't have anything to do with movie studios. I will in the next previously on. But like I said, I miss where like you had movies that bombed horribly, but they're just like, hey, they didn't bomb horribly. They didn't make $1 billion, but the studio's like, okay, we know what went wrong here. We're gonna fix this in our next sequel, and then like that movie like grossed like crazy, and now it just makes me think of like, okay, how many movies could have gotten a sequel, but the studio's just like, nope, didn't break $1 billion. We're done with it.
No, and I think that's a fair point. Like, you have to accept that that profit is profit, whether you're making $1 trillion or not. And I think going to that conversation about movie theaters, I think part of the problem with movie theaters is that every theater is showing the same movies. And I think if you had a little bit more variety, right? Because like right now, if I went to the movie theaters in Hannibal, they're going to be showing the same movies that are across the river in Quincy. They're in driving distance to most other towns, right? And I think two film experiences kind of highlighted this. One, Iron Lung, which was independently produced, independently released. It started as this independent release that was 300 theaters. And because I follow the director, it created this sense of event for me. That to the point where I'm like, I'm willing to drive to St. Louis if that's what I need to do to watch this movie. Because it created this once kind of experience for me, where a lot of the Hollywood movies don't. Because there's a lot of movies I see that I'm like, let's catch it on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this one will ever come in Netflix, and it's such a big thing, and I follow the director, and I want to support the director, and I'm like, okay, no, this created this sense of almost responsibility and status, right? And eventually it expanded to the point where small town theaters like Hannibal was showing it, and I was able to catch it in Hannibal. And it's a fantastic movie. The other film experience, I watched The Mortuary Assistant. And The Mortuary Assistant is a low-budget, independent-released horror movie based off a video game that I liked. And it was one where that particular day I was in Columbia, and I didn't want to do anything. Columbia's got a really nice theater, and they sometimes show weird shit. Like, I caught a Hindu superhero movie there once. And I'm like, I went in with the intention to make fun of it the entire time. The movie was fucking fantastic. So, like, I was just like, okay, what weird shit do they show? And they showed The Mortuary Assistant. I read the synopsis, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm in for this. You know, so if we had more variety or more interest, right? Like, and I'm seeing ads for Mortuary Assistants on some sort of streaming or whatever, but I'm like,
Right.
that creates this sense of event. And a lot of your independently addressed movies don't do that.
It should be more like the way radio stations used to be. It used to be the DJs could play literally whatever it is they want.
Yeah.
Now they got to play. Now I think it's all programmed. I don't even think they have a choice. I think it's programmed
Well,
by
it's
some
99% of talking or ads, even when they're supposed to be playing music.
Yeah, like I said,
I
I
was-
don't even think they have a choice. I think they just hit a button and then the day's already programmed. The music comes in. It's
Yeah, I was so disappointed to find out that they aren't live DJing. And I found that out
Yeah.
when I was a freshman in high school or something, you know. But I was so disappointed because it just ripped out the romance of being a disc jockey. Like, I think about American Graffiti. And
what
What are you doing?
I'm
know-
jamming out to some music.
you know. When I was in college,
All you would be if you're doing this, all you would hear is that's
you know, when I was in college, I wanted to be a disc jockey, but I kept falling off the turntable, like a horse jockey, disc jockey. No.
yes. Comedy's always
I tried-
funnier when you explain it.
I tried water polo, but had to quit after all the horses drowned. See, I didn't have to fucking explain that.
I failed miserably in my farm raised fish operation because the field was just too dry.
Horrible.
Makes sense, yeah.
Horrible.
But anyway, so you have, like, it just ruined the romance of a disc jockey, because I go back to, like, American Graffiti and, like, Wolfman Jack, and I'm like, that's a cool profession to have. And, like, I legitimately looked at becoming a disc jockey, and I'm like, oh, that is not...
I think you're too tall to be a disc jockey.
Probably.
You fall right off the turntable.
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
No, the problem is
That was a good one.
When you sit on it, it has to go,
Yeah.
the cheeks, and then you got to go... And then you spin with it, and it's not so bad.
You open your mouth and sound comes.
And I will say,
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Flintstones.
Yeah.
back to the theaters too, like,
Cody just ignores it.
well, just honestly, I have a lot of times chosen not to go to the movies because I knew the Hannibal Theater is a thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd be like, hey, I want to go see the movie, and like, but I don't want to go to these theaters because this theater is so much better, but then I also don't want to make the drive.
It's...
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's like I could do the 2 minutes it goes to that theater, but that theater's better, but it's in Hannibal. And it's like, I'll just go home.
And I think that's another thing that you need to look at when it comes to theaters is right now, I think a lot of theaters have the airplane mentality of, yes, a human can technically sit in this space, and here's a chair for them to sit.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Like,
Yeah.
I know some people hate on it, but I love the theater. I mean, you can't call it the Quincy Mall, but the one in the Quincy Mall, like, you can walk down an aisle, and I am tall by no means, and I can sit and I can stretch my legs out, and people can walk in front of me and, like, not even come close. If you go to AMC in Quincy, your knees are, like, shoved up into your throat, and it's not comfortable at all. I don't know how many movies that have only been at the AMC one in Quincy, and I'm like, I'll wait.
Yeah, because like the Hannibal Theater is a great example, because the Hannibal Theater, you don't get airplane chairs. You get a leather recliner that reclines back with heated seats.
Jesus.
Yeah. And they have a full functioning bar if that's your thing too. So you go in, get your popcorn, get a Jack Daniels.
Corn.
Yeah,
Popcorn.
popcorn. You get your Jack Daniels. You sit in a leather recliner
Get
with heated
fucked up
seats.
and fucked up.
and you get to fucking watch your movie.
Someone pause this shit. I gotta pee.
I'll be back. Tell me what happened.
Like, that's a fucking theater experience. Like, I go to the Handel Theater more than I have ever gone to any theater, because that is a fucking experience. And I think if you have more theaters looking at the participant experience versus how many asses can we get in the chair, you get a different story.
Yeah.
You know?
Going back to what you were saying, I meant to. It won't happen due to probably contract rules and all kinds of red tape, but it'd be easier than any point in time because there's no canisters anymore. So no one's dropping off. It used to be a delivery truck would drop off canisters of reels of films.
Yeah.
Now it's all downloaded over the internet. That's how like Cats fixed the butthole scene. They put it out, and like the first week was the butthole cat flick, and then they patched in. You downloaded the non-butthole version, and that's the version you play. It'd be so.
That's why I didn't go see it.
If you wanted to have the variety of flicks now, it'd be the easiest it's ever been in the history of cinema. But I think due to like contract rules and shit, I think that's why it won't be. But can I take about my one that should work real quick? I got 15 minutes. Can I bring mine up, or is there anything else?
No.
The one I was gonna say was Aragon.
Oh God, you've been banging on about this.
Well, it just
I'm just joking. Go ahead.
well, it's one of those things, and I think it's goes back to the Green Lantern, like where Green Lantern they try to shove too much into it to go, and I think Aragon is the exact opposite. It was something
People love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Did you know he broke his toe when he kicked that helmet?
That is like the one thing that everyone knows about. That is the one trivia fact that everyone knows.
Okay,
about
I've
Lord
talked
of the
about
Rings.
Aragon.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's not coming back for the new show.
Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, Viggo.
So one
Viggo,
of
the
my
painting
favorite,
from
My-
Ghostbusters 2.
My friends, you bow to no man.
one of my favorite book
He
series
was fucking
from
crazy.
high school was the Inheritance Cycle by Christopher
McQuarrie. Eccleston.
Connellini
Columbus.
Polini,
Okay.
and it had everything a young kid would love.
Boobs.
Yeah,
Was there?
yeah, eventually.
The dragon had a nice rack.
It's fair.
Yeah, but it had magic, it had sorcery, it had swords, it had dragons,
And boobs.
Boobs.
and eventually. That's like
They
third
gotta
book.
hit puberty first.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Even then, it didn't happen.
Oh my God.
But it was that first movie. It was such a cash grab because the world was built in such a way where it needed Lord of the Rings style funding, and you could tell it didn't have that. It didn't have that whatsoever. So they culminated into basically the final.
Commolated?
Commolated?
The culmination of it ended, and the final battle in the first book ends in the book in this ancient dwarven city that is in this mountain. Set dressing out the wazoo. It would have been a spectacle, and it would have been expensive as hell to do on a.
Why? If it's for dwarves, wouldn't it be really small?
It was small, but there was just a lot of small stuff on top of each other.
That was in the movie, wasn't it?
No.
Where did they fight at the end of the movie?
They fight inside a hollow mountain that has a shack town.
A shat town?
Shack.
Oh, okay.
Shack town.
That's where William Shatner lives.
Yeah, so basically
I don't get it.
I don't either.
So they didn't do the ending justice. They breezed through the entire training and development of Aragon because they're not going to try and explain everything because we got to get this done in an hour. So they breeze past. They don't show Saphira growing naturally. No, it's just like, hey, I'm a dragon 1 second. Now I'm a fully grown dragon. They show none of that, like, young adult adventure of, like, showing the responsibility of taking care of the dragon. What?
You're talking, and my head produced different words than you produced, and
Yeah.
it made that sentence very funny. That's
Okay.
all.
But you could tell that they skipped because they wanted to get to the good stuff. But the good stuff they skipped was some of the stuff that I enjoyed the most about it.
Okay, but to play devil's advocate, and are are you seeing it as a fan of the source material?
No, because I think...
Or did the story make sense without it?
So I will chime in here because I watched Aragon. What was the fucking name of the movie? Aragon. Okay, I watched Aragon without having read the books. Didn't know shit about it, and frankly, I walked away going, "That was a really generic fantasy movie," and I always forget that it fucking exists until someone who is passionate about it brings it up.
Okay,
The only one.
And that's what I mean, like...
But my brother was also very passionate, very upset about it, and I'm just like...
and I'm not saying you can't be upset about it as a fan, but it's my Green Lantern issue where I'm like, no, they should have fucking done this. They ruined this. And then I'm like, okay, but if I had never heard of Green Lantern before, if I'd never read a Green Lantern comic, would I have liked it?
Yeah, right. So, like, in that conversation, I was the target audience because I am nerd who knows nothing about Aragon, and I walked away going, that was super generic and kind of a forgettable fantasy movie.
Right.
And
So
no
they
boobs.
So they do
Lack
this
of
sort
boobs.
of Rey treatment from Star Wars, where it's just like,
She shoots lightning out of her hands?
well, basically, like it is like he has like an afternoon of training with his mentor, and now he's a master of all of his magical arts. And they sword trained one time, like, oh, you're naturally skilled, it seems. And it's just like they don't show. They go from, hey, I'm a bumbling farmhand, basically, to I'm going to be the greatest warrior in this world in the span of nothing. Like, it's nothing like they don't show any... It is like, oh, I am a genius level at all this stuff as soon as I get a single instance of it. Like, the magic they treat so trivial when it has such giant implications in the book of how careful you have to be with fucking magic because the consequences you can bring. And it's just like, oh yeah, the magic word is this, and this, and bam, bam, bam.
But is this something that one book could have fit into a single movie?
If they had padded it out a little more, I think you could have fixed a lot of problems I had with it.
Okay.
Well, wasn't it part of the problem that they tried fitting the plot line of like multiple books into
No,
the movie?
the movie is just one book.
Oh, okay.
It is the first book.
I thought they included like some of the plot from the second movie.
It would have been better as maybe a miniseries.
Yeah, I think
Didn't they do a miniseries for it?
they're doing one,
Oh, okay.
and that's like I think the main thing of like, well, you could say that about any book series and whatnot, but I think it
It only had the two movies if you don't count the...
Well, Percy Jackson
Original.
is doing a series, and I think that goes to show if you give it a little bit more screen time, you could flesh out so much more of this stuff.
Isn't
Yeah,
the
it's a-
fantasy genre like known to be really thick? So maybe.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Game of Thrones. That was a series, but there's so much in that you can't fit it all in there.
Right, and it's just...
And I'm not saying that, but
and
it's
don't
like
get me wrong.
it's like anything else that's based on a book. You can't make it work 100%.
Right,
Because if Daniel reads a book and visualizes a scene one way, I'm gonna read a book and maybe I'll change this and that.
Why don't you try reading the same book instead of two separate?
See, that one made sense.
Okay, thank you.
And then the director will read the same book that both Daniel and I read, and then he may see it and then put it on the screen completely different.
Right, and my thing is like 100% from the book to the movie. Yes, you can't do that. Not feasible. What they did was, hey, we are 5% from the book to the movie. When if it had gone to at least maybe 15 to 20, it would have been enjoyable.
Okay.
Because yes, you don't have to do all these side characters that have B plots to a certain degree. You can ignore all that stuff. You can get rid of that world building to that degree. But you gotta have at least a few more steps and fill out the world more than just a shack town that they fight at and the end of the movie.
Okay.
There
You want
you
to talk now? Hurry up, spit it out.
All right, I got 6 minutes. I need to preface this by saying
we've never gone over before.
Well, no, I'm trying to stick with it. I'm trying to preface this with saying I'm a huge fan of these movies, but they kind of don't work. It's the Riddick franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Pitch Black, and
Good
and Riddick is set up as like almost like like an analogy would be like almost like a Han Solo type smuggy guy that he's kind of he definitely is a bad guy, but he does the right thing when he needs to.
Mm-hmm.
And then which is awesome, huge fan. And then Chronicles of Riddick, he set up as almost like a Luke Skywalker. He's prophesized. They changed the backstory of his planet, how he got his eyes. He's maybe Luke Skywalker is right. Maybe more of like a Superman type, which is awesome. But
Yeah.
then but again, Riddick is not the same Riddick from Pitch Black. And then you got the third movie, Riddick, where you're expecting the continuation of the storyline. And they almost kind of they kind of like, well, we went too far with Chronicles, so with Riddick,
We're just kind of like, hey, we don't want you here anymore. Get the fuck off.
we're gonna kind of split it down the middle, where you're still this prophesized hero of this dead planet, but we're gonna go back to the cool Han Solo smuggler version. And it's like it that world like lends you to like you got planets, you got these aliens, you got this guy with like kind of cool weakness. Kind of a cool weakness and superpower at the same time, and then they gave him, and this might have been because of Vin Diesel, but they gave him almost like invulnerability, like too cool for school. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of Chronicles of Riddick, especially the coffee pot scene where he's like, teacup, thank you. He's like, I'm gonna kill you with this.
I like the part where he puts out the candles.
Yeah,
And then he beats the shit out of him.
but it's like. It was like Riddick was cooler when like he was vulnerable. Like he was cool.
When you knew that I mean, you know that he's the hero of the story. You're like, okay, more than likely he's going to survive. More than likely he's going to win.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, okay, there's a chance he's going to either get his ass beat.
Well, he uses his brain. So like in Pitch Black, they send him, and I think she was in Firefly, the actress. They send her and Riddick out to see if the coast is clear, and then they're like, oh fuck, and they start running, and you can see the fear in Riddick's eyes, like, oh fuck, we gotta go. And they start running, and they dive down into a ditch, and the I forget what the creatures are called, but they come like Indoraptors or something. They come swooping down, and like Riddick, he actually uses his brain. He's like, okay, I can't set up, so he takes like a bone and he sticks it up, and he sees what they do. Like he's using his brain. Like he's not knowledgeable.
Well, and he's the only one that realizes that Jack is a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
he's not just a weapon. He thinks.
In Chronicles of Riddick, he like knows everything. He's got everything figured out. But in Pitch Black, you can clearly see him using knowledge that he
is sussing information out as he's going. He's not like, obviously these guys have this weakness.
And then in Riddick, the third movie, they bring him back to that where he's at that like tar trap or whatever, and there's a creature in there that he needs to get across, but he can't because of this creature. So he figures out how to fucking kill the creature, instead of where in Chronicles of Riddick he just would have known, and he would have probably jumped into the water and killed it. So that's something.
Now I want to watch Pitch Black.
Like that character, in that franchise, while it has its devoted fans, and more, I think most fans are split. Like they're Pitch Black fans, and then there are Chronicle fans.
I like how you didn't mention the animated one.
Oh, Escape! No, that's the Dark Fury. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I've never seen it.
That's like in the style of Aeon Flux.
Yeah.
Actually,
and Animatrix and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
I think the guy that did Aeon Flux did that. But anyway, I don't know. I think that's something that could work, but like financially, I don't think it really does.
I agree, but I kind of come back to, do you think it's because of you've got Vin Diesel in the lead, and Vin Diesel's like,
I feel like he's kind of his own worst
it's
enemy,
kind
so.
of the whole, it's Vin Diesel and The Rock, and like, if they have it in their contract where if The Rock punches me, I get to kick him, and like you can't have like. Certain actors, it's like they don't want to be seen as like
weak.
And it's like you're playing a role in a movie.
Yeah, but the thing is that weakness makes that movie interesting.
Exactly.
Like if you go back and say watch the Die Hard movies, if Bruce Willis's character doesn't get the shit kicked out of him through the entire movie, and he's just fine, those movies become kind of forgettable action cop movies.
Then he's not a normal cop.
Exactly.
He's a superhero.
And that's what Die Hard 4 and 5 became. He was a fucking superhero. He had plot armor out the ass. He had Batman's plot armor on at that point.
And that's one of, like, I think conversation keeps going to is why people have just kind of checked out on some of the Batman stuff. That's why we talk a lot, like, we'd love to see a street level guy. I don't want to see him fighting Darkseid every single fucking movie.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's one of those things like this. If you want this guy to have his thing is that he has no powers, you can't explain away that he's just so fucking good at stuff that he's surviving all this shit.
Yeah, I would love a Batman movie where he's like hunting Zsasz, or he I don't know what they're doing with the Clayface serial killer movie, but I would love for that to be Batman trying to solve who the fuck Clayface is to find out that he's a shapeshifter.
And I want to see Batman get his ass handed to him. Be like, okay, that didn't work. What do I need to do so I don't get my ass handed to me?
Exactly. Let him go back to the drawing board.
Like in the Batman Begins, where he leaps off the building and he like slams into the fire escape, and he's like, okay, this fucking hurt. We're not going to do this anymore. Like, let's fix this.
I will say that about the Christopher Nolan trilogy. Batman got his ass kicked a lot.
Yeah.
I like it in the second one where he's sewing himself up after the opening scene with the dogs, and Alfred's giving him shit. He's like, "Oh, you got hurt by a dog." Big dogs. They were big dogs.
Nah, see, I like the one where he's like, "What's the point of all those push-ups if you can't lift a bloody log?"
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck off, dude."
Yeah. That's what I like. I don't want a hero that can't be hurt.
Exactly.
I want to be, because, you know, clearly if I'm watching a Superman movie, I'm not like, oh, I can lift up this building.
You know,
and like, I want, you know, like Brandon Routh in Superman Returns, where like he gets stabbed and like is getting ready to be thrown off, and he's like still saying, he's like, I'm still Superman. And I'm like, okay, you know, it's a Superman movie, but he's still trying to be the hero.
You know who's the best example of the way I wish our men or women, because I think women kind of have a plot armor issue as well.
It was an armor issue?
Armor issue, yeah. No, but the best example is I wish all of our heroes would be more like Indiana Jones. The king of going up against someone and just not knowing, like that scene where that dude hits him and you could see he like reacts and his whole body like vibrates and he falls back and he's like, wait a minute, and he like recoups against the plane.
It's the German guy. He punches him in the face, and the German guy just like turns back slowly. And you can see it on Indiana Jones' face. He's just like, "Fuck, yeah, it didn't work."
You know what scene is fantastic? That really grabs all of those things you're talking about is the Russian versus the Punisher and
yes,
exactly, yeah. The fucking scene where he pulls that fucking revolver up and the Russian takes that weight and he's like, fuck, fuck. And he fucking stabs him and the dude doesn't react and Frank's like, oh, fuck.
That entire scene just tracking through the apartment where he's like just pulling everything out of all these hidden drawers. And I think he finally beats him. And it's been a while since I've seen it, but Frank is just like standing in the hallway. And I think he's looking at Rebecca Romijn, and he just falls the fuck over.
Like,
that is what I like about heroes, like where they're just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep like, I know it's, you know, it's Cap in Endgame where he's just like, okay, he's broken my shield. There's a fucking god of thunder who's knocked out, but you know what? I'm gonna fucking die. Let's go. And he tightens the shield. I'm like, that. I don't want someone that's just, you know, going to win like it's no big deal. I want struggle.
Exactly. And that, just like where Cap is fighting himself.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you can go all day, I know.
Yeah. He's kind of like, fuck, that's what I sound like.
Yeah.
You know, that scene, that is such a great scene. Like, those are the moments that make those characters interesting. You know, there's some interest in that invulnerability. Like, I always want to see a bullet bounce off of Superman's chest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every Superman movie, I want that to happen at least once.
Right.
But it's also super interesting to see him in peril.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be like, oh, I'm bleeding out in peril. Like, James Gunn's Superman, like, he's swimming against this tide of plasma energy towards a black hole.
Yeah.
Or whatever that is. And it's like, okay, he's in legit fucking peril here.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool to see.
Or like the engineer, like, I'm going to suffocate you by filling your lungs with nanobots.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, scenes where he can't just use it. Like, he's trying to save a girl that has cancer, but it's like, what are you going to do, punch the cancer out of me or something? Scenes like... That wasn't in the movie, I'm just saying.
Right.
I know, I've seen the movie. They do that in Superman and Lois.
Oh, do they? Put him in a situation where he can't just punch his way out of whatever.
Yeah, like the, where he's weakened, and next to, Element Man. And he's like, I don't suppose you can make a sun, can you? You know, like that kind of, like, fuck, I got the shit kicked out of me kind of feeling.
And I know there's so many people who give the James Gunn Superman shit, but just the campiness of, like, the solution out of the ass is like, well, my only thing that could save me now is a sun being in this sunless dimension. Like, well, let me try, and fucking makes it happen.
Yeah.
See, I just like the campiness in when you like one of the first things that he says in the Fortress is instead he sees Crypto, he doesn't say what the hell, he says what the hey.
Yeah.
Like the most Superman-y thing ever, and then that's in contrast to when Supergirl comes in and she says what the hell at the end of the movie. Like that is the type that now I realize we're on a Superman rant.
Yeah, but I mean, just like that's an example of a movie that does work because it respects the things that make the storytelling good.
Yeah, because you didn't have anyone saying, okay, he is Superman, he can't be touched, he is, if this person throws one punch, like, he's got to beat him back a million times. I mean, like, he freaking gets his ass kicked 90% of that entire movie.
Right, and like that's a reason why like some of these things are like instant classics and they're fantastic movies that we can talk about, and then you have like the garbage fire that is like The Rock's filmography. Like the Rock does not have
the modern. His first couple movies are cool.
The Scorpion King.
No. Well, no, that you're right. That one's bad. The Rundown.
Is Walking Tall the one where he's got the 4x4 or the 2x4?
Walking Tall.
Yeah.
The Rundown's the one where it's got Sean William Scott in the jungle, and he's an ex.
Yeah.
That one's good. There's a one called Southland Tales from the director of Donnie Darko.
Yeah, but once he got to the point where he's like, I don't want to be hurt anymore.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, then you lose any kind. I mean, I don't watch a movie with The Rock and be like, that scientist who can bench press 500 pounds, I relate to him.
Exactly. Like, there's no real instant classic, no amazing film that's going to stand the test of time that The Rock has, because he is more worried about his ego than the storytelling.
There was the one with Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage in it where they got to break into Alcatraz. That was a good one.
Oh, that was a classic, yeah.
He held up that entire movie.
Oh, come on, man.
I mean, they did have to name it after him. But
Yeah.
Welcome to The Rock.
Yes. Before Daniel does the closing, let's go around.
And it wasn't his concentration. Like, if I'm going to be in the movie, I got to be something that's not affected by the virus at all.
I take pleasure in gutting you, boy.
What's that from?
The Rock.
When?
Who plays the Candyman?
Tony Todd?
Yeah, he says it to Nicolas Cage, and then he's laying in the cell, and he just keeps repeating it while Sean Connery's like working on an escape, and he's like, "Do you ever shut up?"
Yeah, that's right.
And that's when he gets maybe if you would share how you got out of here the first time, then we could fucking do it. And then Sean Connery shows up, and he's like, "I liked it a lot better when there wasn't any talking aloud."
Let's do lines from The Rock. I like it when Sean Connery's talking to Nick Cage about being a chemical genius, or whatever. He's like, I'm a chemical super freak, actually.
I prefer the part where he's like, something, winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
Yeah.
That's a great...
Yeah,
Wait, you want me to shove this 6-inch needle into my heart?
Yeah. That was a good one.
No, tell me, do you like music? Elton John? I don't listen to that soft shit. Well, you should, because you're the rockin' man. And he hits the button.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, honey, do you want to know who really killed JFK?
And that was a good one.
Yeah.
And I like the one where it's the hairstylist, like, I just want to know, do you like your haircut?
Anyway.
I'm trying to think of the most bullshit random lines.
Okay, anyway, sorry. Okay, let's go around the room. Give our recommendation of something that you really think should work but doesn't.
I think we already did that.
Didn't we do that?
Yeah, I thought we were just doing that for the last
I
hour.
think we just did that.
Okay.
No, it's like at last hour and 40 minutes.
I'm going to say the Chronicles of Riddick.
Okay, we were talking about heroes, and we're talking about a good example of, like, I know a lot of people have...
Heroes. The TV show Heroes should have worked, and it did not after season 1.
Yeah, the writer strike hurt that one real hard.
A lot of people have problems. They call it Mary Sue or whatever. A good example of having a woman lead be a badass is Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis.
Oh, that's a fantastic movie.
She is an example of a hero that gets her ass handed to her, figures out the smart way to do it, and becomes... Basically, she's Indiana Jones.
Isn't that Ripley in the first Alien?
That Ripley's another good example, yeah.
That Long Kiss Goodnight, that one has like so many great moments and great lines. And
Let's talk about it for the next hour and 40 minutes.
Sure. Okay. And one of the things that I really like about that is at the very end, she's gotten the shit kicked out of her. She's saved her daughter. And then she's like, should we get a puppy? And then like kills the bad guy. Like she's trying to like, this is going to be traumatic for my daughter. Let's try and uplift her just a little bit the only way I know how. And
I also like when she's being dipped in the water in that sheer dress and you see her boobies. I like that scene.
Like how you said boobies like a 4-year-old.
Anyway, Daniel, do the closing, sir.
All right. You've been listening to Damage Control Podcasting.
Shit. Hashtag Critical Role.
Oh, okay. I was gonna get to it if you didn't say it.
Yeah. All right. So you've been listening to The Ridge, a Damage Control podcasting production, a podcast that definitely works when it should work. Make sure you check out new episodes every Monday on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud, and check out our social medias on Facebook and Instagram. Adam, push the button.
Critical Role.